Billy and the Candy Jar. Billy loved candy more than anything else. He loved chocolate bars, gummy bears, lollipops, you name it. But his parents didn't let him have candy very often. They kept the candy jar on the top shelf of the kitchen cabinet, way out of his reach. One day, after dinner, Billy had a big craving for candy. He looked up at the cabinet and thought, if only I were just a little taller. Then he had an idea. Maybe I can reach it if I get creative. Billy ran to his bedroom and grabbed every book he could find. He piled them on the kitchen floor, right under the cabinet, and climbed on top. But when he reached up, he was still too short. Not one to give up, Billy got down and added more things to his pile: some pillows, a shoebox, even his sister's teddy bear. He climbed back up and stretched his arm high. He was almost there. But just as he was about to grab the candy jar, his mom walked in. "Billy, what are you doing?" she asked, raising an eyebrow. Billy froze. Just practicing my balance," he replied with a guilty smile. His mom chuckled and said, "Nice try, Billy. But that candy jar is staying right where it is." She helped him down and sent him off to bed. Billy sighed, so close to getting that candy. But the next day, he came up with a new plan. He'd heard his dad saying he needed a stool to reach a high shelf in the garage. "That's it," he thought. "I'll just borrow Dad's stool." When his parents weren't looking, he sneaked into the garage, found the little stool, and carried it to the kitchen. He placed it right under the cabinet, stepped up, and success. His fingers brushed the bottom of the candy jar. He was finally tall enough to reach it. But as he grabbed the jar, his little sister walked in and saw him. "Billy, what are you doing?" she asked, wide-eyed. "Shush," Billy whispered. "I'll give you some candy too if you don't tell." His sister grinned and nodded. But just as Billy pulled the jar down, it slipped from his fingers and crashed. The candy jar fell to the floor, spilling candy everywhere. His mom came rushing in. She looked at Billy, standing on the stool, with candy scattered all around him, and couldn't help but laugh. "Billy, I think we need to talk about how to ask for things instead of trying to sneak them." Billy blushed and said, "Okay, Mom, but can I still have a piece of candy?" She laughed and said, "All right, just one piece." She handed him a piece of candy and then put the rest back in the jar, which she moved to a different, even higher spot. Billy learned his lesson. Sometimes asking nicely is the best way to get what you want. And even though he didn't get all the candy he'd planned for, that one piece tasted even better.